Bedford Street. This is the oldest burial ground in Granby of the two. And we're going to go to the grave of Levi Clark, the first burial of a white person in Granby. In fact, it's so old. The three oldest burials here are actually when Granby was part of Southampton. And so this cemetery was started when this was Southampton. And we're also going to visit a man who had 6 wives, and all of them died before him. And all of them are with inscriptions on the same gravestone. Is that wonderful? And then also we're going to look around at a few other places. And I already have an introduction to this, so we're going to get right in there and see what happens. All right, so we just came in the front gate, and we're going to go see that burial I mentioned, but there's a few others, of course, along the way I'm going to show you. And that's going to be fun for us. For instance, this set of 2 stones right here, this is actually the headstone and footstone of the same person, and someone put the footstone right alongside the headstone. All right, not the best way of doing things. They should be separate from each other. All right, so the third oldest gravestone in here is still older than Granby itself. It's Martha, the wife of Samuel Ayres. She died 1765. Granby became a separate entity in 1768. And this cemetery was found in 1764. Alright. And you can see this beautiful one here. The sibling heirs. This whole row is heir row. And they buy full plots like this. Alright, now this one is the oldest burial in Granby. It's a young boy, Levi Clark. His sister is next to him, Ruth Clark, on the left-hand side. And his stone is quite covered with lichen. Now, it says here, you can't read it, but I know it says from a survey done in 1935. He copied down what it said. It says, here lies the body of Levi Clark, the son of Seth Clark and Mary his wife. He died January 11, 1764, age 8 years, 5 months. Here I've begun and then it's a 6-letter word that's missing, you can't read it, which you may now hear me see. It won't be long ere you will throng into the grave with me. This I have said as from the dead, therefore get ready too, for you must one day ask, and then a bunch of blank lines. If they clean up, I could actually figure out that missing word, but I think it means it is ground, because I know it's 6 letters, and burial grounds were the names of cemeteries before 1850. So this is telling you this is the first stone in this cemetery. Here I've begun a ground which you may now here see. That's incredible. That's an extremely rare thing that a stone is telling you it's the first one in the cemetery. This is a Baptist cemetery. His father brought him back from Wilbraham, where he was born and died, and buried on his home in Granby itself. I wish they really take better care of these 2 stones. These 2 are earlier than Granby itself. All right, now I mentioned other ones along the way. Just in back of that one, notice there's a good gap of land between those 2. It's a big gap of land. And this stone here is for God Preston and his 6 wives, 1 daughter, 1 son. His first wife has a stone right here. All right, Electra. That was his first wife, and she died in 1824. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this one belongs to it too, 6 footstones for this one headstone. All right, that I believe there's 9 total names. One is a cenotaph. One was long enough the footstones were ever used. So there should be 7 footstones, and most of them are still here. That's incredible. This is Gad Preston, and it repeats or has the name of every one of his wives on here, and most of them are in the back. It repeats the one I just mentioned, Electra Barton. It has the name Theodosia Church. She is buried really in Hadley, in the old Hadley Cemetery. So this is a cenotaph. Then it has 1, 2, 3 more wives. Then his daughter down below. Then there's another wife, the last one, which he also outlived here, Mary Dimmick. She died 1870. He died 1876. And then his son is down, the next one down. This is incredible. 6 wives' names, all 6 of his wives. He would marry 1 year after each one of their deaths. And so this is a very famous gravestone area. Now, most of the gravestones are definitely pointed in the right direction, east-west, right? Which is good sign, because they should point east to west. Now, another thing they should do in this cemetery, they're supposed to have a potter's field, and this is the potter's field section. The back, far right, and a little bit of the center is all a potter's field, and most of this is babies. If I counted it up, maybe there's about 100 burials here by size, and I bet you about 80 of those are probably young children. Now, you should have, on every pre-1860 burial, should have a headstone and footstone. The headstone should always point towards the west, and this set does, like it should, but they should also have footstones around, which this cemetery does not have the footstones. All right, now 2 of the perimeter areas of the 4 in this rectangular cemetery have stone walls. There's 1 burial of 3 children along the back here, no problem. All right, there's also a stone that was leaning back here. Someone might have taken it out and put it back up, but you can see there's another one back here. Okay. So it's a really nice area. Now, some of the stones point towards the east, all right, and they're not supposed to. They're supposed to have inscriptions pointed in the direction of the west. Right now, a lot of stones are brown stones here. All right. But some, you can see with time, they change into marble or limestones. Okay. Now, where are all the footstones? Most of them have been taken out. Sadly, that is true of most cemeteries. They would have a superintendent sometime between 1870 and 1900, during the beautification movement around America. They would take out footstones and throw them out. The reason why I believe they saved the ones associated with Gad Preston is because I think he was so famous, and he had 6 wives, and he wanted to make it look like an obelisk, and they did that. But to do that, you have to save the footstones, because around an obelisk, usually you have not only the names on the obelisk, but I'll show you this Barton one. You'll have personal stones related to the obelisk. It says mother and father. these aren't headstones or footstones. They're personal stone related to this Eunice Preston and Mr. Barton. Okay, so a lot of wonderful features around here, and of course you always meet the ones that are broken, and this one's broken, but it can be fixed very easily. It's in five pieces I can see, plus the base, but it can be fixed. Granby doesn't have a Community Preservation Act, but they could put some money into fixing these up, right? I really wish they fixed up the one for Levi Clark, because the statement about that having started off the cemetery is an extremely rare statement. I've never seen that, and I've been researching cemeteries for about 20 years, visited hundreds of them, and thus you have a situation where you have a really rare statement, plus you have the first white settler being buried ever in Granby. All right, now some have been fixed along the way, which is great. Okay, so I have a tour in here. I hope you can join me. I'll give you a bit of a scan around to finish off. All right, and you can see they take very good care of the area. Here is the name of the cemetery itself, North Cemetery, and a lot of flowers put down. So it's a great location, a great cemetery. I hope you come visit. Thank you very much.